Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Accent Decelerator, the 10-class course that you're taking to help reduce and eliminate your accent. Today we're on class 8. Congratulations for making it this far. You're doing an amazing job. It's a lot of content. As I always like to tell you, please rewatch these videos as many times as you want. We gave them to you with unlimited access. Watch them over and over and over to ensure that you're fully understanding the material. That way, your accent can be reduced and then eliminated. Okay, so last class we focused on phonograms. Before that, we focused on everything from the alphabet to syllables to rhythm and tempo of speaking. And now today we're going to be focusing on homonyms, homographs, and homophones. If you don't know what any of these mean, that is okay. We are going to be learning all about it today and why it's important specifically for accent reduction. Ready? Let's jump into it. So, firstly, homophones. What are they? They are multiple words, maybe 2, 3, 4, that have the same pronunciation but different spellings and different meanings. Now, homonyms. Do you know what those are? These are words that have the same spelling and the same pronunciation but different meanings. And lastly, we have homographs. These words have different pronunciation, different meaning, but the same spelling. So the easiest way for me to teach you about what these three things are is through practical use. As we go through, I will give you tools to identify which word you are pronouncing what way and what meaning it could be. It's all through context clues. That's why we're including this class towards the end of our 10-class series, because you will be using the majority of the skills that you have obtained from our prior 7 classes. It will all come together within class 8, 9, and 10. Take a look at your PDF sheet. I have included for you a chart. The chart on the PDF for class 8 includes all the different examples I'll be speaking about for homographs, homophones, and homonyms. I'm going to read these off to you. As I read them off, pay attention to what you think the different meanings of these words are and how the spellings could be the same, different, and how the pronunciations can be the same or different. So first, we have the homophones section. This is the column farthest to the left on your sheet. Homophones, which are same pronunciation, different meanings, and different spellings. For example, to, and two. I'm going to the store. Are you going to have 2 dinners? Are you excited too? These are the 3 different words of to. Even though they're all pronounced the same, they have 3 different meanings and 3 different spellings. That is a homophone. Next up, there, and there. Let me give you some examples. Their team is playing really well. They're such a great couple. There's a game going on over there. Those are the 3 different ways to use there. 3 different spellings, 3 different words, and 1 same pronunciation. Next up, we have whose and whose. Who's going to the party? This is WHO''S. That means who is. Who is going to the party? Next, we have WHOSE, as in a possessive. Whose sandwich is this? That's an ownership question. WHOSE. And finally, now we have where, and where. The first one is a conjunction, where. We are. We're a fabulous team. And now we have where. Where is the party going to be tonight? And now we have where. What are you wearing to dinner? Those are 3 different words that sound the same, mean 3 different things, and are spelt differently. So, what I wanted to talk to you about before we proceed to the second and third columns of homonyms and homographs is that context clues in this situation are extremely important. Take a look at the whole scenario of what you're going to be placing the word in. That's how you'll be able to know what word goes in which scenario, because it's based on what everything else is about. The context clues are essential for deciding which one to go with. Next up, we have homonyms. These are the same pronunciation, same spelling, with different meanings. Follow along on your chart. I'm on the middle column now, homonyms. The first one is clear. It can mean two different things. To empty out, so I'm gonna clear off my desk, and I smacked my computer off my desk. Or it's looking really clear outside. It's a beautiful day. That means there's no clouds in the sky. The second definition of clear is in regards to understanding. If something is clear, it means it's easy to understand. The next one up is blue, as in the color. Oh my gosh, the sky is so blue today. Or you could say, I'm feeling so blue. That means you're feeling so sad. The next one is the word book. This is something that you read, obviously. Or you could say, hey, can you book me a reservation at that amazing dinner spot? Book. It can mean an actual physical book or to schedule a reservation. And finally, we have rose. This is a flower. You know, the red roses, they're so beautiful. But you could also say, she rose up out of her seat. That's to stand up. It's the past tense. She rose up out of her seat. And finally, now we're moving to the final column of our chart. We have the homographs. These are different pronunciation, same spelling with different meanings. For example, object versus object. An object is something you can hold. For example, my object is my phone. Or you can object to something. My parents were fighting and they told me I needed to leave the house for a little while. I objected and I stayed home. Object versus object. Do you hear the slight difference in pronunciation? Two different words, different pronunciation, same spelling. Object, object. The next one we have is bass versus bass. They are spelled the same, but they sound different and mean different things. The first one is a bass. It's a fish. A bass is the guitar that you play. Next up, we have close versus close. Close means in relative nature of being near something. Oh, I'm close by to the ice cream place. The other way to say this word is close. Can you close the door already? Close versus close. And finally, now we have the word read versus read. I like to read. I have read that book. Read is the past tense version of read. They are spelt the same, two different meanings because read is present tense and read is past tense. One thing that we need to pay attention to when we're speaking English is that we're speaking in the same tenses. You wouldn't say something like, I walked to go to the car and I am so happy right now. See how the tenses are different? I said walked and then I said I am happy. Two different tenses. This does not necessarily relate to accent reduction, but I just did want to give you that tip because it will make your speaking seem more legitimate if you are making sure your tenses are the same wherever you're speaking. So you're talking about past tense, keep it past. You're talking about present, keep it present. Talking about future, keep it future. This part was quite tricky. It can be pretty confusing, so make sure that you pause and rewatch this section. And as you can see, I only reviewed a few of each homophone, homograph, and homonym. The list I have given you is much more extensive because I want you to have examples, but by having me go over each and every one, I do think it can get quite tedious, but what we can focus on are the concepts and putting them into use. So that's what we'll be going to do now. Okay, let's move on to the next section. What we're going to do is I'm going to read off a paragraph. I want you to pay attention to this paragraph and follow along on your PDF. I set the delicate china teacup on the table, careful not to break it. The warm aroma of freshly brewed tea wafted through the air. As I poured, I noticed a small chip on the cup's rim. It was a minor flaw, but it didn't affect its ability to hold the golden liquid. I took a sip, savoring the taste of the fine leaves. The cup's handle fit perfectly in my hand, providing comfort as I enjoyed the soothing drink. With each sip, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. It was a moment to pause, reflect, and appreciate the simple pleasures of life. Now, together, I would like us to brainstorm some homophones for the following words: break, pour, savor, peace, pause. These are all listed out on your PDF. Each word will have a slight dash next to it. I want you to write down the different homophones for each one as we go. That way you're taking notes. First, we have the word break. It means to break something. I'm gonna break something, and you get mad and you punch something. Break can also mean to stop, as in a car brake. B-R-A-K-E, break. Next up, we have pour. The first one is pour. You're pouring something. Like we were saying, they pour a glass of tea. But also, pour can be spelled P-O-O-R. Poor. That means you don't have a lot of cash. You don't have a lot of money. Or it can be used in a sympathy sense. P-O-O-R. Oh, poor you. Poor and pour. Next up, we have savor. To enjoy, typically in regards to a food or an experience. Oh, I'm gonna savor my time here because I love it so much. And then we have savor, S-A-V-E-R. This is used to describe a person who likes to save money and not spend money. So you have savor, S-A-V-O-R, and savor, S-A-V-E-R. Two words pronounced the same, spelt differently. Next up, we have peace. Peace. It's just a calmness, it's peaceful, it's easygoing, no stress, peace. Peace can also be spelled P-I-E-C-E. This means a part of something. Oh, I'm putting together a puzzle. Did you find the missing piece? It's a part of something. You can also talk about it in regards to a person. You are a piece of me. That means you're similar. Peace and peace. Two different spellings, two different meanings, same pronunciation. And finally, now we have pause. This means to take a break. I'm gonna pause my video that I'm watching and I'm gonna resume it later. It means to take a break, to stop something, but you are anticipating resuming it later. Now we also have pause, as in animal paws, P-A-W-S, are the feet of some animals. For example, dogs have paws and cats have paws. Different spelling, same pronunciation, different meaning. Great job. Now let's do another paragraph. This time I want you to go ahead, pause the video, and go through those words. Now what I'm going to do is read off the paragraph to you. The clear morning sky greeted me with a gentle breeze as I stepped outside. The tranquil atmosphere filled me with a sense of calm. The vibrant blue colors stretched as far as the eye could see, reflecting the beauty of nature. I took a deep breath, savoring the crisp air. With a clear mind, I focused on the tasks at hand, knowing that I can achieve anything I set my mind to. As I started my day, I made a mental note to return a phone call to a friend I had been meaning to catch up with. We set a date to meet for coffee and share stories of our recent adventures. On my way home, I couldn't resist stopping by the local flower shop. I picked a delicate pink rose, its petals soft to the touch and its fragrance filling the air. With the rose in hand, I knew it would bring a smile to someone's face. The day unfolded with moments of clarity, heartfelt connections, and the simple beauty of a single rose. Now, I want you to review the words that are on your sheet. We have clear, blue, hand, return, date, and rose. Were you able to get all of the different meanings of these words? Now, let me tell you. So first we have clear, as in a clear blue day. This means there's nothing in the way in the sky. It means that there's no clouds around, but clear can also mean the same thing in regards to a desk per se. You have a clear desk. It means there's nothing on your desk. The second definition of clear is in regards to understanding. If something is clear, it means it's easy to understand. Both of these words are homonyms. They are spelt the same, they mean different things, but they sound the same when you pronounce them. Blue, we already went over it in the chart above. You know it means to feel sad or the color. Hand can mean to literally give someone a hand, so you're helping them. Give me a hand and help me up. Or hand can actually mean your hands. These are your hands. Return. This word is very tricky because a lot of people don't understand it has two meanings. It can mean to go back or to give back. I'm going to return home after I go to work today, or I'm going to return this book to the library. To go back home or to give back the book to the library. It's spelt the same, but it does kind of mean two different things. The word date. This can mean the actual day of the year, the day, the week, the month. Today is July 8th, 2023. Or date can mean to date someone. That's when you like someone, you go out to eat, you hang out with them, you enjoy spending time with them more romantically. And finally, now we have rose. We already went over rose earlier. It means to stand up in past tense, or the flower. Now, finally, I want to do one more paragraph exercise with you, because this is how you're going to really be able to solidify learning about homographs, homophones, and homonyms. One thing I do want to tell you is you do not need to memorize what a homophone is, what a homograph is, what a homonym is. Just understand the general concepts and how they work. We're trying to make this easy for you to incorporate into your everyday life, whether it be personal, business, or travel. So what I'm going to do now is read off the paragraph, follow along on your PDF, and then pause the video. I want you to go through those bold words with the dashes next to them and write down all of the different meanings that you see for the same word. All right, let's go. It was a lovely yet windy summer day. As I began to wind up the curtains, the wind started to become much stronger. I picked up my pace to avoid a tear in the curtains, as they were a big investment. Upon finishing, I decided to prepare a cup of coffee, always adding a tablespoon of sugar. This time around, it was a bit too hot for my liking, causing tears to run out of my eyes. Thankfully, I was close enough to the refrigerator that I managed to grab a bottle of water to soothe my burning tongue. After closing the refrigerator door, I spotted my dog, Zeus, from afar, who was tearing up my living room carpet. Dogs can truly become our best friends, but sometimes they act up. Okay, go ahead, pause the video, and go to those bold words with the dashes next to them. Write down any homographs you see for those bold words. Okay, now let's review. To tear means to rip something. I am tearing a piece of paper. Tear can also be pronounced tear and means something different, even though it has the same spelling. Tears are what come out of your eyes when you're sad or when you're hurt. Tear versus tear. Next we have wind. Wind is the air that moves very quickly. Sometimes you go outside, it's very windy outside, your hair blows everywhere. That's wind. To wind up. In this example, we were winding up the curtains. You were rolling them up. You are winding them up. So wind versus wind. Close, we already discussed this one. It means to be nearby someone else or something else or a place. I am close to the coffee shop. Do you want a coffee? But close can also be pronounced close, as in close the door. Can you close that door over there? It's really cold in here. So now you've really worked with homophones, homographs, and homonyms. The main takeaway from this is understanding that the context clues are important. Based on what sentence the word is placed in and where it's placed can make a difference about how you pronounce it and the meaning. So what you should really understand from this lesson is just that. You don't have to memorize these homophones, homographs, homonyms. That's not the goal. The goal is for you to understand that context clues are important and that the number one way to work on this is practicing. The only way you're going to get better with this is to put it into real life. What I recommend for you is to read a book. Maybe do 10 minutes a day, read a book that's in English, and pay attention to any homophones, homographs, homonyms you see. Maybe underline them and keep a notebook and write down these words, and then write what the other word is that maybe is spelt the same and means a different thing, or spelt differently and pronounced differently, whatever it is that you need to do to practice more. That's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, please follow us on all of our social media platforms so you can get more English content content every day. In order to excel in reducing your accent, make sure you put this into practice, specifically today's lesson. Today was class 8, our next class is class 9. We're almost to the end of this Accent Decelerator course, and I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great day.